This is Zonky the Donkey, and today we're going to be going over one of the hardest things to do in this game, and that's aiming. There's so much that goes into it because of all the huge ranges and distances that are involved in this game and all the different sights. After you finish watching this video, if you feel like you've learned something, please subscribe, like, and leave me a comment. Now, I'd be willing to bet a lot of you guys watching at home have not touched your sensitivity settings at all, and I would argue that this is probably the most important thing for your aiming. And so, looking at my settings here, we're going to talk about targeting sensitivity, then scoping, scope 4x, scope 8x, scope 15x. Now, I've got mine set at 33 targeting. That's when you aim down sights. Scoping is, I believe, whenever you hold shift with that. And then your 4x, 8x, and 15x correspond to those sights. Now, I have them getting less sensitive the higher in scope you go, because you're going to only need to make more subtle, like very small subtle adjustments with those high-end scopes, like the 15x and 8x. So many of the engagements in this game are at super long range, and so that's why you're going to want your sensitivity to be low, because you're only going to be moving really millimeters at a time. And I believe you're actually going to see some pretty big increased results automatically. If you feel like you're whipping around a lot, you're going to see some good results by lowering your overall sensitivity. And ultimately, it's what works for you. I mean, I'm not saying these settings are going to make you a better aimer, and I continually tinker with these, but try lowering all your sensitivity settings in kind of a staggered scale and see how it works for you. Now let's talk about iron sights, arguably probably the worst in the game, especially with the SCAR, which is what I'm using right now. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to find yourself in this situation a lot where you have a rifle with no red dot or ACOG or anything like that. So some general things to help you out are basically when you're in third person mode, as you're rounding corners like I am in here, I'm going to have my sights pretty much already up, where as soon as I bring up my aim down sight or right click or whatever, I should be on target already. Whenever you're with iron sights, you're usually going to want to just fire 1 or 2 shots at a time, because your sight picture is going to get thrown off so much. And I would also suggest that unless a target is completely still and you snuck up on them, try not aiming for the head unless you're a very advanced player, and instead just go ahead and aim center mass. Which is basically right for the center of their chest. So there's multiple sights in this game, including the 4x like I'm using right now. There's a red dot and holographic, which they don't have any kind of zoom, and then there's your 8x and 15x scopes for your sniper rifles. Keep in mind, you need to be using the right type of sight given how far away your enemy is. So right here, I just switched from a 4x to a holographic because I knew these guys were going to be cresting this hill right over the top of us on this squad firefight, and a 4x would give me a little too much zoom for my close quarters fighting. So keep that in mind as you're trying to aim. If you're looking for some easy solution to hit 800-meter shots, there isn't one. Just keep in mind, you're going to need a whole lot of practice for all this stuff we're going over. So let's talk about more close range, medium range combat like here, and the difference between some of the sights. A lot of people like the holographic sights over the red dot sight, but I actually like the red dot sight a lot more and would encourage you guys to use this over the holographic. The reason for that is because of the sight picture. The better sight picture and the more you can see while you're aiming down the sights, the better it is for you. The red dot sight is still pretty effective at medium and long ranges depending on what you can see, and obviously the more you can see, the better it will be for you. So now some key tips for helping aiming like this. Obviously I'm getting a little lucky here, guys are stopping for me while I'm headshotting them with the Kar 98 with a red dot, but don't rush your shots, especially on moving targets. If you've got a sniper or a bolt action or an SKS, don't rush that shot, wait for them to stop, try and hit 2 very quick body shots or headshots, and that's usually going to bring them down. That obviously may just be 1 round for Kar 98s, etc. Now watch these next 2 clips with the holographic and then the red dot sight. Notice how clunky the holographic sight is compared to the red dot sight here, and how much more of the screen you can see. Now I am a potato here, and even though I missed them, it's not because of the red dot sight. Now at extreme ranges and hitting moving targets, this is one of the hardest things to do, and I've got an SKS with an 8x and a silencer right now, so these people have no clue where I'm fucking shooting them from. But what I encourage you guys to do, especially if you've got a target moving left or right and you're trying to hit them, is start with a consistent starting point in terms of how far you're going to lead them. So that could be like their leading shoulder, it could be the tip of their barrel, the further away the person is from you, the further you obviously need to lead, and then you have to adjust your fire from there. Watch where your bullet impacts and move it a little bit from there. As you get more experienced with the game, it'll come more naturally. And additionally, I would actually suggest at long ranges, because of the way bullet behavior, I would aim more for their chin rather than directly for people's head. So like the chin and throat area, just because of the way bullets travel in this game. There's a few other people that are suggesting the same thing because of the way the bullet trajectory is. Now, when it comes to close quarter combat, it's all about putting rounds down range as fast as you possibly can and having the correct weapon for the job. For this, I would actually suggest using the M416 with full attachments with a compensator if possible, because this basically is the lowest recoil weapon in the game. It's going to allow you to aim more efficiently, aim better, aim more consistently. Always come around every corner with the weapon pointed up as if an enemy were about to be there, and don't be afraid to use full auto at close ranges as well. Remember, I've given you guys a good intro here. You have to get out there and practice on how to lead your shots, where to aim, what types of weapons to use, especially the M416. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You may be the 1,000th subscriber with this video. I'll see you guys out in the battlefield.